This channel of mine, Gastronomic Delight, is for connoisseurs, food lovers, and those with a passion for cooking, be it traditional dishes or experiment with new cuisines. In this episode, I am going to share with you the recipe of a sweet dish of ancient Bengal called Narkel Sandesh. While talking about Bengalis, sweets and Bengalis can never be separated. Not only the Bongs, even the other communities who have settled in Bengal for quite some time have developed a taste for Bengali sweets. There was a time and a custom of going to each other's house with packets of sweets. Going empty-handed was not considered a good gesture, and that's why the custom of sweet shops in every para became very common. Bengalis' love for sweet can be traced from the fact that when even no sweets were available, substitute of sweet was dudh bhat with gur, sugar or ripe mangoes. I still cherish those experiences of my childhood. Gauro bongo. Gauro coming from the word gur. Even before Chana came into the Bengal market, brought by the Portuguese, there was a series of sweets, which I would call as iconic sweets, prevalent in Bengal. I still remember my grandmother used to make beshone laddu with gur. Nabanna, a celebration done during the winter harvest with sweets called pithe, which were less of celebration and more of a ritualistic food, be it ashke pithe, kheer puli, gokul pithe, murki, soru, chakli. These are now available in the metro sweet shops, but they are still a customary ritualistic food in the suburb and the villages. Payesh or Paramanna, made of rice or chusi, that is maida, were primarily made of milk and gur. Jillipi, amriti, bonde, laddu, mihidana, shor bhaja, khaja, goja, lobongolotika, dorbesh, joynagorer mua. These are many more examples you will have of sweets which did not involve chana but were very much popular in ancient Bengal. Today's recipe, Narkel Sandesh, it involves primarily three ingredients: the grated coconut, milk, and sugar. To start with, let's boil the milk for 10 to 15 minutes and let it thicken. Add elaichi and tejpata into it. Once the milk thickens, is the time to add the grated coconut. Do not add the entire grated coconut at one go. Add it part by part. And keep on stirring so that the mixture doesn't stick to the base of the cooking pot. After 5 to 10 minutes, add the second quota of the coconut and repeat the process. Once all the grated coconut has been added and the gravy gets thicker, ensure that you now start continuously stirring the mixture. This is the time when the sugar or the gur mixture has to be added. Generally in the winters I would prefer adding gur, but then now I have used 80-20 ratio, around 2 to 3 spoons of jhola gur and the rest of it is sugar. The reason for adding jhola gur is its unique taste, the aroma and the color quotient that it adds to the mixture. about gur, a very common gur which is available in every household is the ashke gur or the gur made of sugarcane. But then Bengal has a unique special gur which is available only mainly in the eastern part, especially in Bengal, and which we call as the khejurer gur. This gur is quite different from that of the ashke gur in terms of flavor, in terms of the sediment content and the taste. Yes, it is very high priced because of its exorbitant demand both at the national and the international level. And another reason for its high demand and low supply is because of few commercial cultivations on a regular basis. This gur has three forms: the chola gur, that is the translucent liquid form, dana gur, the granular form, and the patali gur, the rounded cubicles or cubical forms. The Jhola gur is the one which has the lowest shelf life, but it is the best in the aroma quotient. There is something called as the chire Jhola gur. Chire is basically meaning the sap which is extracted after 2 to 3 years. There is another version called as the poira gur, which is called the best version of the Jhola gur. That tastes best because it's the first sap of the gur extracted. The more the processing, it next becomes dana gur, and the more the processing, it becomes into a patali gur. The art of tapping the sap of date palm and making khejur gur is not so easy. It involves skilled artisanship. The process of climbing the thorny trees at the dusk, cutting the end of the flower cluster at a specific angle to hang the pots, and leaving them overnight for collecting the dripping sap, bringing down the pots at dawn, filtering the collected sap, and then boiling at a certain level to get the sweet, fragrant, and clear syrup needs expertise. You have to be cautious of the climate changes. But then, unfortunately, cultivation of date palm is reducing, and the artisans devoted to such craft not getting their due recognition are reducing in numbers, among especially the new generation. Well, coming back to the recipe. By now, the coconut starts absorbing the milk and the gravy will be getting thicker. This is the time to add the dry fruits into it. Now, moving to the next step. Once the sugar and the jaggery set gets dissolved in the coconut mixture, time to cool it so that we can use our hands to make small doughs out of it. You can give beautiful shapes and decorate it with cherry or dry fruits like kishmish. I still remember during my childhood, there were certain molds available for making sandesh. These molds were made either out of wood or stone. They have beautiful shapes in them, and whatever mixture we had, you had to press on those molds and you would get a beautiful shape out of it. If you have any of those molds, you can use them, or you can make them in the form of simple laddus. If you find difficulty in giving shape to the sandesh, you can moisten your hands or sprinkle a little bit of water before rolling them in between your hands. Ensure that the mixture is moist or juicy enough so that the taste of the condensed milk mixing with that of the coconut can be felt while consuming. Because remember, when you refrigerate, some amount of moisture will be absorbed and the sweet will become comparatively a bit dry. This can be had in itself, or you can have it with chapati during the supper or dinner time. Well, using 500 ml of milk and one full grated coconut, you will get around 20 to 25 pieces of the sandesh, which can be stored. Like the recipe? If you liked this recipe, please click the like button, and if you want to come and experience more such recipes, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.